Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of my Hornby hobby. I think this is either 22 or 23. So now we're going to have a bit of a running session with the two 040s that I own. These are both D-tanks. On the inside line we have the quote-unquote new one, the Hornby Railways one, which is the Queen Mary. And on the outside line is the 040 that pretty much started it all off, which I am yet to find a name for. I was hoping to use the initials LMMR to make a long name and then maybe use L and R to make the shorter version of it. I don't know. But anyway, so we're going to have a bit of a running session with these two. So we've got both of them fitted out with trains. So, of course, the 040 on the outside line has got Scruffy, the William Wood & Sons truck, the vent wagon, and the brake van. Whereas the Queen Mary comes with, well, pretty much everything that came with the set. So obviously the truck, the two tankers, the hopper car, and the brake van. Side note, I was doing some maintenance on pretty much all of this last night. I had to take the couplings off the hopper car and soak them in hot water because they were all bent and warped. So, and now it's all fine. So I think I've sorted out all the teething problems, apart from one, which is that the truck behind the engine gets derailed on those points after the level crossing. You'll probably end up seeing that in the video today. I have the water tower pipe set up. This is one of the pieces that I was missing. I thought I'd get it with this, but I didn't. So under here we have the controllers. So this is obviously corresponds to the outside line and this corresponds to the inside line. So now I can control the engines independently. So let's get started. So I'll set off the regular 040 first. There it goes. Very controllable, that one, is one thing I've noticed, is that just the slightest amount of effort, you can get it to go off at the exact speed that you want. And it does look a pretty picture. Just get some nice cool shots in. And now, to switch on Queen Mary. Now it takes very little and then she goes off like the clappers. Look, I have barely got that controller set up to even 2. For this one, I have to have it set up to that in order to get that to go around. So we'll try and get them both to go. If I want that 040 to catch up with the Queen Mary, I have to have this maxed out. Okay, so I'll give you a better view by doing this. So you can just watch them racing around. And keep an eye on that Queen Mary on the set of points right here after the level crossing. Because the Queen Mary's not even going that fast. As you saw, I mean, I could easily just crank up the controller and, you know, make it go lightning speed. Watch this. That's at max power. So, it's all because of the motors that Hornby used to use. I mean, the one that's in the outside 040, which I do need to find a name for, is an RM motor. Now, I don't think that that's the same one that they've got in the Queen Mary, because obviously there's Hornby Railways, then there's Hornby. You know, there's a difference. By the way, I received a comment yesterday from someone who reckoned that the freight hauler set came from the 1980s. And I had a bit of a look on the internet, and yeah, it was around the 1980s, 1972 to about 1980. So back then, I reckon an 040 like that with 5 pieces of rolling stock. I don't think it was supposed to come with like an uncoupler and a hose pipe and all the stuff that it did. But I reckon it would have set you back probably about over 100 quid, because that 040 and the pieces of rolling stock that it came with, which were obviously the truck, the vent wagon, uh, and the brake van, that was about, did I say 85 in the review or 75? Anyway, so there is quite a bit of difference. Just a couple of wagons extra for something in the 1980s. It would have probably cost you about £100 for the freight hauler set compared to the industrial freight set. And these 040s seem to be best at, well, they're pretty good at shunting because, you know, they're really controllable. But a lot of the time, as it said on the box, they take freight trains. That's why both these sets have come with mainly trucks and industrial style rolling stock, you know, trucks, tankers, hopper cars, vent wagons, things like that. That's why they've not come with coaches, because they don't really pull coach trains. Which I think is fine, because in the real world you'd have shunters, you'd have freight haulers, you'd have express engines, you'd have mixed traffic engines. You know, there's a whole host of engines that you can get in both real life and in Hornby. And they do look pretty good going around that track together, giving them a nice bit of a workout. Bit of lubrication on the well, not the wheels, but on the parts that need it. And I checked to make sure all the couplings connect together, and it does seem to be doing pretty well. Apart from when it derails on that set of points. It's that truck, it derails and then the Queen Mary uncouples from it and then it just becomes a free runner. You'll probably end up seeing that very soon. I don't know if you're able to see this, but back here I have a shunter's yard. Because the track that came with the freight hauler set I've added into this. So it's a mixture of steel track and nickel plated. So over here we've got the Pullman coaches with an uncoupler at the beginning. Over here we have the shunter's truck, the plank wagon, the horse box and the towed brake van with an uncoupler as well. Here we have the food wagons, you know, the Better Bites, the McVitie's Better Biscuits wagon, and the trio of wagons that Dad bought me. And then on the inside here we have Rocky. And it's a nice little shunter's yard, I think. And I've used practically every set of points. So I think I might leave this here, and then when we get the final track path, which will just be a couple of straights, no, it'll be a set of points, I'll extend this as you're supposed to, and then I'll do something over here. Or maybe I'll add something to that side and over there to make it a bit longer. That way this train, or one of them, can go on here. I actually wouldn't mind making this double-sided. So I could have Smoky Joe here and this 040 somewhere here. You know, imagine this setup here, but over here. So I could fit two engines on here. And then I could have Thomas going around maybe. You know, there's a whole host of creative things that you can do. Also, sorry I've been going on for so long, but this here is the Super Sound. This is what came with the freight hauler set. And Dad's managed to fix it. Listen to this. So yeah, there's a test button, there's a whistle button, and an exhaust button. So Dad's managed to fix it. This says 1990 on it, so whether that's when this was added to the set, I don't know. But it's a nice little extra feature to have that, and it just makes it seem a little bit more real. So I've pretty much done a lot since I started. Yeah. I still need a name for that 040. I feel really bad that was the first set of 2020 that I bought, and I've not given it a name. Everything else has a name: Smoky Joe, Thomas, Paxton, Rocky, you know, and the Queen Mary. What are we going to call that 040? Come on, guys, let me know in the comments. Maybe something that begins with LMMR, and then maybe take 2 digits, not 2 digits, 2 letters, merge them together, and then it makes a longer name. I don't know. Because the rest of them have got like proper names. But I'm thinking of like, I don't know what LMMR would stand for. Maybe London Midland Summit Railway or something. But it does need a name, I think. So let's try and get a name for it. Shout down in the comments of any of the Hornby Hobby videos, and maybe I'll try and get a nameplate printed for it. It is really nice, isn't it? Just to watch the trains going round. Just look at them. Tell me this doesn't bring you joy. I mean, it brings me loads of joy. Just being sat here, just watching them go around, even when they're going around in a loop. It's hypnotic. Hopefully sometime in the future I'll be doing a video showing you how to weather up your models. I'll need to weather up that 040 and that shunter diesel, and maybe a couple of other bits and pieces need weathering as well. Definitely that hopper car, I think that needs to look like it's had loads of coal in it. That truck, that tanker, everything needs to be weathered. You know, it needs to look like it's been part of the railway for years and it's been used non-stop. Okay, so we'll bring them in for a stop. So starting with the outside 040. Just bringing it nicely to a stop outside the water tower. And then the Queen Mary. Pretty much stop buffer to buffer. And there we go. So that's that. I think 040s are, you know, underappreciated models, because they're pretty much a great starter locomotive. You know, I mean, Smoky Joe's an 040. It's just a 040 Caledonian Pug. So yeah, this video is getting a bit long-winded, so that's it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, then like, comment, and subscribe. Always much appreciated. And stick around, because there'll be plenty more Hornby-related content coming your way very soon in the future. Until then, stay safe, and thanks for watching.